Thank you for coming here. Today I'm going to present Ecosia, and as Markus said, Ecosia is a search engine which together with our users we're trying to restore our world. Now you're going to say, how on earth can a search engine restore our world? And actually we have. Since 2009 we've engaged a movement over 15 million users and together planted about 130 million trees. Now you're going to ask again, how is that going to be possible? It's actually very simple. We just took the most profitable thing in Silicon Valley, namely search. We take the ad revenue, and instead of filling the coffers of the shareholders in this case, we're using the money to plant trees where they are needed the most. We are a not-for-profit purpose company. Actually, it started out on my end with an investment, a normal angel investment, which later then we put into a foundation, and now we are a non-for-profit purpose company. We're completely transparent about the financials. You can look at our monthly report. Every month we publish exactly how much money we make, how much we spend on trees, how much on operations. We respect and protect privacy as well. So we could say we're as private as DuckDuckGo or Startpage or one of the other privacy search engines, because we feel that users shouldn't make a compromise between restoring the environment and protecting their own privacy. And we're more than just CO2 neutral. We're actually seeing ourselves as regenerative. And we have some big other search engines there who say, yeah, we're carbon neutral, but you know, one search actually emits 3 grams of CO2. So making that carbon neutral is a fairly easy task for a big corporation. With our approach, we actually take 1 kilogram, so 300 times 3 grams, the CO2 out of the atmosphere by using the money for tree planting. We were the first German company to become a B Corp, a benefit corporation, a movement which is now moving around further and spreading, with companies like Patagonia, for example, leading that charge. And to give you some numbers, that this is not a small thing we're doing, it's about 500 million searches, 130 million trees planted around the world, 15 million active users in over 60 tree planting projects. I'm going to get to the tree planting in a second. In over 30 countries. And rising concerns about the climate, the Fridays for Future movement in particular in 2019 put Ecosia on a 100% plus growth rate. Our demographics are actually pretty good, mostly in the EU, growing in the US, so EU still is our core market. Of course, the tree planting projects more or less are in the emerging parts, in the emerging part of the world, so in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, but the users predominantly are in the EU and the US. Also, some other interesting facts about our users. We've got very young age distribution, so we actually have the youngest audience of all search engines. We also have the most female user base of all search engines, above 50%. We are accessible on all browsers. We're actually proud that we're the only European search engine you can actually switch to on an iPhone. So the iPhone gives you the ability to have choose from 5 different search engines. 4 of them are US players. We're the only European one. And as a call to action, I'm going to have another call to action later, but the next one will be super expensive. It'll be 200,000 plus. This is a simple call to action. Take out your iPhone, go to Settings, Safari, and then you can pick from those 5 search engines and pick Ecosia. So please do this now. If not, the second call to action I'm going to have later is going to be a lot more expensive than that one. That is an easy switch, and it's one of the reasons why we've been spreading so fast, because users, especially young users, can do something for the climate in a very simple and a very free way. And as I said, it's actually very material. So as a normal average user, you can offset about 1 to 2 tons per year using Ecosia instead of using Google or any other search engine. And that is a very material thing, and it's one of the simplest and easiest things you can do as a user. So then once you've done that, and like 15 other million users, we use the money from the search ads to plant in 60 projects in over 30 countries, and we're now the world's largest planter of native trees. We even have a Chief Tree Planting Officer, our CPTO. It's the most fancy title we have at Ecosia, who is responsible for rigorous project selection and monitoring, because of course we don't want the trees we just planted to be chopped down later. So what we do in order to avoid this is we plant very different species and tree planting methods, usually together with the ability for the local farmers to earn money through agriculture. No monocultures, of course. We care a lot about biodiversity, and then we monitor and track the progress for many, many years. We have some great updates there. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, you can actually see the progress on this with a monthly episode on our tree planting, how it's done. It looks impressive once you see the pictures with a few years in between. And so you could say that Ecosia actually has two core competences. One is we're a normal tech company, we're a search company, and the other one is to plant trees. On the tech side, we have some more plans because searching is just one thing. We want to move to be a personal assistant for all things, for all consumer choices, be fully privacy compliant compared to many other players, of course, but then also have additions in green search. So for example, to give you the ability to make climate conscious choices while you search, we mark the search results by highlighting companies which are actually eco-conscious, and to avoid, of course, that they do greenwashing, we rely on very, very sophisticated sources there. The same applies on our maps. We look at making it easy to find more sustainable choices when you're trying to shop local, and the same thing on a voice-empowered device, so that you don't have to ask Alexa, but you actually get someone who can tell you what the best choice would be to buy, and most importantly, when not to buy something at all, because often buying nothing at all is the most sustainable choice. One of our latest projects is a wooden credit card, which also plants trees. So it's essentially the model of Ecosia in your pocket, and we launched the first wooden card coupled with the ability to plant trees through the merchant fees of the credit card acquirers. That's it about Ecosia, but I do have one more thing. And as I said, whoever has not changed the search engine to Ecosia now, my next call will be a bit more expensive. Now, some of you might have wondered, okay, how can you invest in Ecosia? Because a lot of companies actually pitch something here to invest. Fact is, you can't invest in Ecosia. We've been asked that 1 million times, but we transferred into a purpose company, a self-owned, steward-owned company, to keep the flexibility of a company, but at the same time not have anyone profit from this. But we learned a thing or two with Ecosia over the last couple of years on how to, as Marco put it, design profitable, sustainable companies. So we said, okay, let's take those learnings and actually apply them to a fund, and we created the World Fund. So Ecosia is one of the anchor LPs of our new World Fund, and Daria, my co-founder in GP, I don't know if she made it yet and is here, but if yes, then wave, Daria, please. She's going to present the World Fund in a dedicated fashion tomorrow afternoon. And the World Fund is actually a VC fund aimed at sustainable solutions. And since I only have 10 more seconds left, I'm going to leave it there. But this is something where you can actually invest if you think, okay, what we've built with Ecosia is nice. We're 5 people. I'm one of the GPs there. And we aim to invest in sustainable companies and use Ecosia as a role model. So if you're interested there, either as a startup or as a potential LP, I'm going to be around all 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. This guy's a legend.